Hey everyone, Jan here, codingwithjan.com. Today we're going to be covering 5 beginner-friendly ways to make money as a Shopify developer, also with specific price points. So I can't think of anyone who wouldn't like that. Make sure to stick around, and if you need more support, then check out the links in the description. And now, roll the intro. But I don't have an intro. So let's dive right in. Alright, then first on my list, we have a service that is very beginner-friendly. Store setups from scratch. You're going to be building e-commerce websites for people who don't have an online store yet. And how much can you make? If you're doing this for the first time as a beginner, I would say between 1,200 and 3,200. More established agencies would rarely charge less than 5,000, rather between 5 and 10,000, or even beyond, depending on complexity and the brand they're working with. Now, what kind of activities would this service involve? First, you would help your client create a new development store. Then you would do the whole backend configuration, like tax settings, shipping settings, uploading products, and so on and so forth. You would advise your client on a good theme, depending on their needs. And you would also help them build a good-looking front end, according to the brand's identity. Beyond that, you can also offer some training on the platform. For example, you can show your clients the backend dashboard, how to deal with incoming orders, how to upload products, how they can change a small headline, just anything that makes them more independent, which is something clients really appreciate. Okay, then let's move on with the second way, Shopify Partner commissions. So in case you didn't know, for every store that you create as a developer, you get an ongoing cut of the merchant's monthly subscription for as long as the store exists. So that requires work upfront, yes, but it's also the most passive income you will ever make as a developer. And looking at the numbers, by the time I'm recording this, you get 20% of the most common Shopify plans, like Basic, Normal, Advanced, and Shopify Plus. And we can also have a look at some examples to make this more tangible. So let's say you've built 5 stores on Basic, you would be getting 29 bucks a month. If you've been building 10 on Basic and 2 on Advanced, you would already be getting 170 per month. And let's say you've been around for a bit longer, and maybe you've built 15 on Basic, 4 on Advanced, and 1 on Shopify Plus, you would already be making over 700 per month in completely passive income for as long as these stores exist. So that's definitely not terrible. It's actually pretty solid. Okay, then off to way number 3, Shopify Migrations. That is migrating an existing e-commerce website, like from any other platform, to Shopify. So maybe you have someone who's currently using WooCommerce, Magento, Shopware, whatever, and they want to migrate to Shopify. Now, if you think about it, this is kind of similar to store setups from scratch, because you're indeed building a Shopify website from scratch, but this time you also got to pay attention to the old website. So for example, one concern might be SEO. Maybe your client had some good Google rankings with some of their pages, and you don't want to jeopardize or nuke these, right? So then you got to create redirects for those. Or you also have to carry over existing content, for example, blog articles, or there might be existing data such as customer accounts or historical orders. On top of that, you also got to pay attention to existing functionalities. For example, your client was using a loyalty program, or they offered the website in different languages. Then you would have to find suitable solutions to recreate these features on Shopify. Now, given all the above, I think pricing should start where store setups ended. So I would say minimum 3,000, but rather 6,000 to 8,000. And more established agencies would probably charge between 12, 15, or even beyond, depending on complexity. But this time, also keep in mind that you're working with clients who are already in business, who are already making sales. So they do have money to reinvest and are more likely to be able to afford your services. All right, the next way would be selling ongoing development services, usually billed by the hour. And if you're based in a Western country, you can charge anywhere from 60 to 120 per hour. You can get there relatively quickly. Sometimes you also see people charging like 200 per hour, but I think that's neither beginner friendly nor very common. So rather stick with what I just suggested. And also for sake of transparency, if you're based in a developing country, it will be harder for you to charge these Western rates, because if you think about it, people usually hire overseas to get cheaper deals. And if they can find someone equally qualified for the same price in their own country, they would rather prefer that. But I think you can still make very good deals, also considering that the costs of living might be a bit lower for you, so you can make some geo arbitrage there. Now, for these ongoing development services, ideally you want to sell them on retainer. Means that you can agree with your clients on a fixed amount of hours per week. Could be like 4 to 8 hours of development, for example. And then you just keep a project board with all your ideas and your client ideas in a long backlog. You prioritize them together, and then you try to get as much done per week as you can within these 4 to 8 hours. And then depending on your hourly rate and how many hours you can agree on, you can make like 400 to 800 per week per client. Alright, then last on my list are going to be different kinds of audits. So this could be a conversion optimization audit, it could be a general store review, maybe a very technical SEO audit, or a page speed optimization audit. So this could literally mean anything, and you can kind of invent these. Yeah, you can just do a lot of research on a specific topic. You can create good looking reports. You can explain your clients what each of the things mean, give suggestions, maybe also help them with the implementation. That could be an upsell. So since this could mean anything, it could be like a 10-minute store review for $80, but it could also be a very technical, in-depth SEO audit for, let's say, 3,000. So here it really comes down to your ability to create great offers and also sell them, which requires a ton of iteration, but it's also a ton of fun and a very creative process. Alright guys, and that's all I have for today. We've been covering 5 beginner-friendly services, but of course there are like a thousand, as German as it gets, 1,000 other things you can offer. So let me know which one I missed. And I also hope you find some value in having the price points as reference. If you need more support, links in the description. And yeah, now I gotta go and quickly use the rest of this coffee on empty stomach energy. So have an amazing rest of your day. I'll catch you next one. Bye.